Hi everybody, this is Michael Hildebrand and I'm your host on the Sleeptrust podcast, where I'm talking about how to gain back trust in your ability to have a superb sleep again.
In this week's episode of the Sleeptrust podcast, we are going to look at how the best sleepers prepare for their sleep. So if you are implementing a lot of sleep tips and things are confusing, frustrating because you're seeing no results, then after listening to this one, you're going to be inspired to ease the process, following the best sleepers ever, and to get to more relaxed relationship to your sleep, which will result, hopefully and eventually, in a good resting sleep. And I'm sure you're going to love this podcast. It's going to be very short, very to the point. There are only two things, and these two things are very easy to get our head around. Essentially what we're doing here is to copy a process that we in the business space know as mentoring. So if we want to be and get and become a successful manager in a company, the best and easiest way to do so is to find a mentor that has already successfully achieved this goal, and then we're going to copy what he or she did. And they're going to give us a little bit of coaching on the way, but essentially we're going to copy what these people tell us that they did at that time to get successful, become successful. And that's all that's to it. And we also know I'm a certified NLP certified practitioner, master practitioner. And in the NLP space, we also know this as modeling. So there are certain behaviors that we want to model to achieve the same results. In particular, when it comes to sleep, we are going to look at how good sleepers act when it comes to their sleep, right? And then we're going to do exactly what they do, and we're going to get exactly the same results. It's a simple equation. It's like 1 + 1 = 2. And if you get the front part of the equation right, if you put in a 1 and a 1, then you're always going to get a 2 as a result. That's what we're going to do here. So let's have a look at what good sleepers actually really do. And the first thing is so simple that it's nearly embarrassing to talk about it, but it's super important. So please listen carefully. Good sleepers go to bed when they're tired. Yeah, we all do so. I can, hear the first thoughts going on, but honestly, it's essential. Good sleepers go to bed when they're tired. They don't go to bed at 10 p.m., 9:15 or 9:17 because of their regular sleep schedule. They do have regular sleep schedules on average, but they go to bed when they're tired. So if they have a day that they're tired earlier than usual, they would just go to bed a little bit earlier. If they stay up longer because they're not tired yet, or the other way around, they're not tired yet, and therefore they're going to stay up longer and go to bed when they're tired. They don't distract themselves or stay up longer on a regular basis because, of a TV show or whatever. Good sleepers go to bed when they're tired. So if you have sleep problems that are going on a longer time, then you might have a hard time to get your head around that fact, but it's essential. So you can work with sleep restriction here to get into the feeling of when you're really tired. You could put away a little bit of distraction like watching TV in the evening to get a better feeling to your body, to really acknowledge the fact when your body is telling you, your mind is telling you that you're tired. And go to bed when this is the case, not before, not after. Try to find that sweet spot. That's the very first thing that good sleepers all do. The second thing is that good sleepers actually do not go to bed with the intention to sleep. They don't go to bed and say, I have to sleep now because I have to get up tomorrow. They do not go to bed and say, I have to sleep now because I'm lying in bed, my eyes are shut, I have to sleep now. That's not what good sleepers do. And if you are following me for a while, this is one of my essential tips for everybody out there. Go to bed with intention to rest. This is what good sleepers do. They actually see their bedroom, their bed, their path into sleep as a path to a rest that they deserved. So they had a long day. They, might have went good, might have went bad, but now the day is over and they claim their right to have a rest in their bed. So when they go to bed, they're thankful. They feel comfortable in their bed. They just want to rest. They do not think about sleep. They know that it's eventually going to happen at some point, but they don't think about it. They don't care about it. They go to bed because they know now I can close my eyes. I can think nobody's going to disturb me. I'm not going to go to pick up a phone call. I'm not going to have a chat. I'm not going to watch TV, anything. This is my time. This is what good sleepers do. They go to bed. They're thankful for their the opportunity to be able to go to bed, lying in a warm, cozy bed. All of this. And at some point, they're going to fall asleep. And this is very smart because sleep is an unconscious process. And you cannot control something consciously that is unconsciously wired. It's very complex. We do not know what we have to control, and we can't control many of these things. There are hormones involved, different processes in our bodies that we cannot consciously control. So don't even try it. Go to bed and control that you are in bed now and that you deserve to rest. You really should have the feeling that this is your time. You deserve to rest. Whatever happened the day, as said, it might have went well, it might have went bad, but this is your time. And you're enough to deserve this rest for yourself, no matter what is. And with that intention and that feeling of thankfulness, gratefulness in mind, in your heart, sleep's going to take care of itself. That's what I always say. If you take care of giving yourself a rest in the way that I described it, then sleep will take care of itself. And those are the two very simple, straightforward things that good sleepers all have in common. And you should copy this. You might think this is oversimplified or won't work for you or whatever. And I get that. But if you are missing out, if you're not sure that you are doing exactly what I just described, what good sleepers do, then I can just recommend that you follow and model what good sleepers do and see if it works for you. And at the beginning of this podcast, I said that 1 + 1 is 2, and that's true. And these are the main numbers of the equation. I do acknowledge that there are other factors, obviously, as a sleep coach, and I know a lot of other factors that you might have to work on too, but these two are essential. And if you have not tackled both of these, then definitely start with these. Try to figure out, listen to your body when you're truly tired and go to bed then. If you have a problem with that, try to work with sleep restriction. So give yourself a little bit less sleep than you would need to really feel that tiredness kick in. That will give you a better feeling for your body and your mind when it comes to tiredness. And consciously control that you only go to bed to rest. You don't care about your sleep. Sleep is something that will eventually happen. It's natural. It's something that is unconsciously programmed. But you deserve to have a rest. And that's something that you can control to 100%. That you feel good, that you feel worthy of having that rest, that you feel thankful for being able to lie in a warm bed. It doesn't matter in which bed you're lying at the moment. I'm sure you agree that it's better than lying outside in the rain in the wilderness where any wild animal could eat you up. So you can be thankful for that. And if you tackle these two things, then I say, you've got 80% covered of what it takes to be a good sleeper. And for the other 20%, simply go to sleeptrust.eu. You're going to find a lot of tips. You know that I constantly tackle different aspects of sleep to help you to improve those aspects of your life, to get an even higher quality sleep, higher energy levels at daytime. But these two things are very essential. And to give you a little bit of context around that, what good sleepers do, essentially, I've got a 9-step process to bring people, as you know, with low energy levels caused through bad sleep back to those high energy levels on the foundation of superb sleep. And good sleepers typically tackle the most important things of all of these 9 steps unconsciously because they're used to. They're already programmed to sleep success, and you can get there too. As said, I've got clear 9 steps, and you can download the Sleeptrust sleep map for free. This is the map that I use in each and every of my coachings. So go to sleeptrust.eu and download your free version of the sleep map today. But definitely get started with the 2 things that we covered right here a couple of minutes ago, because those are really essential when it comes to having a good night's sleep. And as always, it's up to you. You can say that's too simple to be true. I don't even have to think about that. So the first reaction might be, that's stupid. And if this is the case, that might be a thing to think about a second time and a third time. You might consciously think about it and say, okay, I've got that tackled. That's okay too. But definitely try these 2 things. They're very simple, straightforward, as promised, and they're so effective. I cannot underline it enough. So definitely, if you're trying to find back to good sleep, high quality sleep, and you don't have those 2 tackled with a 100% sure behind them, then dig into that, because they're so simple and so effective. And with that, let's wrap up this week's episode of the Sleep Trust podcast. If you're trying to figure out a way back to superb sleep, then a good way to start is to copy people that are successfully sleeping. The 2 things that all good sleepers have in common is that they go to bed when they are actually tired, and that they go to bed with the intention to rest rather than with the intention to fall asleep. And that's it for this week's episode of the Sleep Trust podcast. I hope you enjoyed yourself and that you tune in next week when I am going to share my personal sleep story with you. Until then, have a superb sleep.
Hey there, and thanks for listening to the Sleep Trust podcast. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you want to get further information on this podcast or material that will help you to gain back your sleep trust, please check out sleeptrust.eu. That's sleeptrust.eu, where you will get lots of information around sleep. And here comes some legal stuff. Everything on this podcast is my opinion only, so do not take it as an advice, as I am not a doctor, nor have I considered your personal situation. If you feel that you need medical advice, please consider getting an appointment at your doctor of trust. If you want to give me any kind of feedback on this podcast, feel free to email me at podcast@sleeptrust.eu. I hope you tune in again next week, and until then, have a good sleep.